I've been actually going insane.
You don't have to lie.
People mindlessly consuming for the sake of survival.
There are ways to break this cycle.
We technically don't even win in life, no matter what situation we're in.
He has to have this last part to feel like he's winning in life, and that part is right here. He is having an existential crisis. Let's find out why and what we could possibly do in the same situation.
I've been actually going insane over this existential crisis, this awareness that I have. So just recently, about a couple days ago, we ran into an acquaintance. Of course, what question did this person ask me? What do you do for work? But guess what I had to do? I had to lie, saying how great it is, that I'm doing well. And it's just sad that that's not the reality. You know, I had to lie.
You don't have to lie. That's the thing. I do understand that there is a ton of societal pressure to do so, however. What is scarce is congruency that matches the level of trust you have with the other person. So what an honest answer might look like is, I haven't been doing that great lately, but I know I'll be able to bounce back soon. For somebody like a friend. For an acquaintance or family member you're not that close with, it might look like, I've been whatever, but things will look up soon. That way, you're matching the level of vulnerability you're comfortable with to somebody that might actually be receptive to it. And this is a way you can be congruent and honest without having all of your social interactions be difficult or negative.
People are fighting for parking spots, and then you go in, and there's people everywhere. People mindlessly consuming for the sake of survival. And I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I'm also doing the same thing as them. Just looking around, I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
There are ways to break this cycle. The existential crisis balloons when you're stuck living an unfulfilling life strictly optimized for survival. But one way you can combat this is conservation and reduction. If you reduce unnecessary consumption, you'll be able to increase your savings and financial options for a lifestyle that doesn't revolve around endless work just to survive. I've been there before, where it feels like all I'm doing is working just to pay bills and maybe eat out every now and then, and that is no way to live.
Anything, working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, thinking that everything's normal, commuting to work every day, and not saying how exhausting any of this is. It's almost as if I never want to go back to that, even though I'm kind of not in a good place right now, because we technically don't even win in life, no matter what situation we're in, it seems.
For this guy specifically, there's 4 things he needs to get to where he's winning in life, as he puts it. The first one is social safety nets. That's things like healthcare. If you fall between the cracks, or you can fall between the cracks at any moment, then you're not having peace of mind, and you know that everything you work for could be washed away in an instant if you're caught without things like health insurance or shelter in a situation where you're not able to cover that. The next thing is cost of living, from housing to food to gas. Everything's been increasing, and the money you have left over after paying just your rent has been slowly getting chewed away at, and much more rapidly lately. And you can't really have peace of mind and think of a bright future when the costs are encroaching upon you. Next part is meaningful work. It's very common to be divorced from the results of your work these days and to be underpaid for what you're doing. Inflation has really not helped with that. Being able to get to a place where you're being compensated well and you're on a schedule that is sustainable for you. He has to have this last part to feel like he's winning in life, and that part is right here. Relationships. Having the hope of a life partner to build a family with eventually is super necessary, and that's been getting more and more difficult because of the isolation that work has put on a lot of people in the modern societal era. Not just romantic relationships, but those within your community, within your friendships, there's been so much isolation that has been encouraged through cheap dopamine, like phone games, that this aspect has been neglected by a huge percentage of people. If there's anything I missed,